Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm so excited. If you can't tell by the title of this video, I'm doing a very special and exciting reading vlog. So basically, I decided to pit my two BookTube best friends against each other to see which of them knows my reading taste the best. It's gonna be so much fun. So basically, my two BookTube besties are Peyton Reads and Julia from Reader's World. I love them to pieces, and I thought it would just be really fun to spark like a little friendly competition between them to see who knows my reading taste the best. So how this is gonna go down is they have both chosen two books for me to read that they love, that they think I'm also gonna really love, and we're gonna see by the end of this video which ones I love more, and to see which of my friends actually knows my reading taste the best. And I've been waiting to do this video for a very long time, so I'm very hyped about this. So Peyton chose You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson and also Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. I'm so excited for both of these. They are both fun contemporaries, which is what I'm all about. If you guys know me at all, you know that contemporary is my favorite genre of all time. So I think Peyton has chosen very well with these two options, and I'm really excited to get into both of them and see how I feel about them. So far we are off to a wonderful start. So Julia did choose Summer Assault by Katrina Leno and A Curse of Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I feel like I'm going to enjoy both of these, but I feel like Julia is taking a bit more of a gamble with these options than Peyton is, because this is a high fantasy, which again, if you know me at all, it's a bit hard for me to read. But then she did choose this like contemporary-esque magical type of story, which could go either way, honestly. So I feel like Julia is taking a bit of a gamble, but she feels pretty confident in her choices, which makes me feel confident, so I'm hoping that I'm gonna love them as much as she does. I'm so excited for this video, and honestly, I have no idea what's gonna happen in this video. I have no idea how I'm gonna feel about any of these books. I'm hoping that I love them all. Like, my hopes and dreams for this video is that I'm gonna have a really hard time picking the winner. That's what I want, you know? I don't want it to be like an easy decision. I want to love them all so much that I can't fathom choosing a winner, basically. I will predict that I think I might like Peyton's just a touch more, just because they are both fun contemporary romances, but we're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. I hope you guys are excited for this video, because I'm so excited. So I think we're gonna start with Peyton's books, so let's just roll the clip.
Hey Brittany and bookers, yes, I did just call you that. I'm here today to give Brittany two book options that I think she's going to love to prove that I know her reading taste better than Julia. Julia, you're going down. I'm sorry. It's just happening. The first book option I have here is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This book is all about our main character, oh my god, I forget everybody's name, Liz Leidy. She is trying to run for prom queen because she wants to get a scholarship to her school. Prom's really big in this town, so that's why. She never thought she'd be doing that. Then there's this girl, this really cute Ginger. She's running for prom queen too, and they have a little bit of a spark of a romance. It's so freaking cute. There were so many references in here that made me die. Like, there was one about Finnick Odair. I've never seen a book reference Finnick Odair, and that made my life. So instant 5 stars. Okay, I think Brittany is going to be obsessed with this book, to be honest. If I loved it, I feel like she's probably gonna love it, just because I'm like a bit more critical of contemporaries. It's harder to get me to like them, so I feel like she's gonna like it a lot. And the other book that I'm recommending for Brittany is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. This one's super cute. It's about two rival restaurant people. Their family restaurants hate each other at the moment because one of them stole the other's recipe. These two kids, these two teenagers, they are on a Twitter battle on these giant restaurant company Twitters, and they keep having fights on there, and everybody starts to ship them because the fights are like getting intense. Like, it's low-key kind of hot, and they actually find out that those two people behind the tweets go to school together. Oh my god, they don't like each other at school too. Like, they're kind of like rivals. This book is so much fun, lots of food, and it's just a really cute romance, and I feel like Brittany's gonna melt. So I feel like I got some pretty good books for Brittany. She's gonna be obsessed. If she's not, I'm gonna be shocked. Thanks.
Okay, so I'm an hour and a half into Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, and I thought that I would just give you guys a little bit of a check-in on how I'm feeling about it. I don't really have too many concrete thoughts on this one yet because we're only an hour and a half in. I have 8 hours and 45 minutes left, so we're just like in the very beginning of the book. But so far, I think I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of dynamics going on with our two main characters at the moment, and I'm very excited to kind of see how it plays out. I love when there's a dynamic in books with main characters where they are like talking online written or something and they don't know who each other are, and then they have like this like good relationship that way, and then in real life they know each other in like a different way but they're not aware that they're the same person. I really like when things like that happen in books, and that's currently happening in this one, and I'm just like obsessed with that. I'm also really enjoying the inclusion of social media in this book. I'm always intrigued to see how authors do social media, and obviously this one is heavily focused on Twitter. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm excited to kind of delve deeper into it, learn more about the characters, see more of their dynamics with each other. So far I'm enjoying this one, and I'm excited to keep listening to it. I just haven't had many opportunities where I felt like listening to it, but I am hoping to finish it over the next little bit. I'm listening to Tweet Cute, and I thought I'd give you guys an update because I haven't really been updating that much. So I am now 7.5 hours into this audiobook, meaning I only have 2 hours and 40 minutes left. It is my plan to finish it today. I'm doing a bunch of laundry today, and so I'm listening to the audiobook while I'm doing my laundry. I also might start bullet journal spreads today, so that means I can listen to Tweet Cute while I do that. In regards to how I'm feeling about this audiobook, I'm actually really enjoying it. I kind of didn't really have an opinion. I find sometimes when I listen to audiobooks, it's going so fast, or I'm listening to it so fast, I don't really think about how I'm feeling about it. But there was a moment last night when I was listening to it when things started to happen, and I was like, oh, okay, and I got really invested. So I think I'm really enjoying this one, which is wonderful, obviously, and I'm really excited that I'm enjoying it. I didn't really have too many expectations going into this book besides what Peyton has said about it. I don't think I've heard too much in general about this book, like on BookTube or Book Twitter. I think I've only really heard about it from Peyton and maybe like a few other people, but I'm really enjoying it so far, which is great, and I'm almost done, obviously, so I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen. I just stopped off at like a really exciting part, but I wanted to physically read something else. So I'm enjoying myself, which is great. I really like the characters so far. They're really fun and like interesting, and I'm really liking the whole usage of like social media in this book. I really like when social media is used in books. I don't know why, I just really do. So I'm really enjoying this one. Okay, so I just realized while editing this video that I didn't actually have an end clip for Tweet Cute, so here I am filming it like 2 months later. It's fine. So I actually really enjoyed Tweet Cute. I thought that it was adorable. I really loved our main characters and their like interactions with each other. I also loved the use of social media, which I know I've mentioned before, but I loved their like little Twitter feud that was going on. I thought it was so cute. I feel like just in general this was like a really solid contemporary book. I loved the characters. I also really liked the narrators for the audiobook. I feel like they captured the characters' voices really well, and I had a good time listening to it. I know I also mentioned this, I believe, in the last clip, but I'm a huge fan of the trope where characters have different relationships with each other, where they're like texting with each other maybe, but then they also know each other in real life and they know each other under different identities, so they don't know that they're talking to that person. I thought it was really well done in this book. I love how there was this whole app where you could talk to people from your school without knowing their identities, and the app could just reveal your names to each other at any point. I thought that was really interesting, and I liked how the guy main character, I'm currently blanking on his name, but how he was the one who created the app and he was purposefully not outing himself to our other main character who he was talking to on this app. I just thought everything about this book was really well done. I really liked the writing style and kind of like the banter that was going on, and the dialogue I thought was really good, and I'm definitely interested to check out more books by Emma Lord. So I can understand why Peyton recommended this to me, and I think that she did a really good job picking it out because I really enjoyed it. I'm currently on page 71 of You Should See Me in a Crown, and so far I'm actually really enjoying it. I said that as if I was surprised. I'm not surprised that I'm enjoying it, but what I am surprised by is our main character has anxiety, and I don't know why that wouldn't have been one of Peyton's selling points and what she would have said in her recommendation clip about why she thinks I'd like it, because I am a sucker for anxiety rep in books. So I don't know why she didn't think to mention that, but there is anxiety rep and I'm really enjoying that so far. There's a line at the beginning of a chapter that says the thing about anxiety is that it looks different for everyone, which is so true, and I'm really enjoying that. And then there's also this thing going on with Liz and one of her like ex-best friends and experiencing like falling out with them and then like just cutting them off out of the blue, and I relate to that because that happened to me in high school quite a few times actually, but like one time in particular was really painful, and so I'm kind of relating to that a little bit, which is nice. I always really enjoy finding things in books that I can relate to, and it just like makes me connect to the main character a bit more, so I'm really enjoying that so far. And I'm really excited to kind of get more into like the prom stuff of this book, because prom is a huge prominent thing in the story, and because where I live, at least at the school that I went to, prom was like a big deal, but we didn't have like prom queen or king. Like I don't know if it's all Canadian schools or just my school or like just my province, I don't really know, but prom king and queen is not a thing, and I kind of wish we had had a more of like an American, like a movie idealized version of prom. I kind of wish that was real for us because, you know, you watch it in movies and stuff and you always like dream about it and then it doesn't actually happen in real life. I'm kind of very excited to read about this like really extravagant prom where like it's the most important thing going on in their town. So I'm really excited for that because it was not like that for me, and I loved prom and I love reading and watching things about prom, so I'm very excited for that portion of the book. So I've finished You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, and I really enjoyed this one. So I tabbed it up, so I got quite a few little tabbies in there. I could have had a few more favorite moments, fangirly moments at the end, but I ran out of yellow tabs and I didn't feel like getting up to grab another package to get more yellow, so we're just gonna leave it be. I feel like for the majority of it I wasn't quite sure if I was loving it or not. I was like, yeah, this is enjoyable, this is fun, this is cute, but I wasn't like that invested. But in my reading session today I became invested and I did really end up enjoying this one, which I'm really happy about. Yeah, I don't know if I have any like specific things to say about this book. I really liked our main character Liz's friendship with this guy named Jordan. They were like ex-best friends who became friends again over the duration of this book, and that just made me so happy. I really like seeing friendships like that in books, and so I really enjoyed that. I felt like they got each other and he was there for her throughout the entire book, so I enjoyed that. I really did like the relationship as well. I kind of wanted more from it though. I feel like we didn't really get that many scenes of them together, but them at prom was literally so adorable, and how that all tied together. I really enjoyed it. The other friendship I kind of didn't really care for. One of Liz's friends really bothered me, but she came around in the end and it was fine. But for the duration of the book she was quite annoying. But overall I feel like I did really enjoy this one. I enjoyed the writing of it. There were some quotes in here that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed this book, so I'm glad that I read it. So I'm really happy that Peyton recommended it for me to read this one. I mean, I would have read it regardless, but like I'm really glad that she picked it for this video. I'm about to start Summer Assault. I guess I'll show you guys the clips of Julia talking about why she thinks I'm gonna like this book and A Curse, Dark and Lonely.
I have taken over Brittany's account. You're welcome. Hi, if you don't know who I am, I'm Julia. I'm from the channel Reader's World. I'm sure you've heard of me. And if you haven't, valid too. So if you didn't know, Brittany's doing this whole thing about choose two books and see who she likes better between me and Peyton, and obviously I'm gonna win because I'm better than Peyton. For one of the books that I gave to Brittany was Summer Assault by Katrina Lino. This is personally one of my favorite books. It's basically everything you would want in a book. A beach town, magic, gay girls. I mean, okay, they're not all gay. There's the love interest is bisexual, but a female-female romance is all what I'm given for, and Brittany needs more of that in her life. Summer Assault by Katrina Lino is about a girl by the name of Georgina, and she lives in a family where her whole family has magical powers, and she is approaching her 18th year and still nothing has come about. And then somehow the bird that is famous for their town goes missing and is later found murdered. I did recommend it to Peyton, and Peyton did not like it as much as I did, but I have faith in Brittany that she will like this. But she reads more contemporary, and this is more contemporary. However, she still does like magic. The second book I recommended to Brittany after multiple recommendations I gave to her that she couldn't get in the library is Curse of Dark and Lonely by Bridge. Basically, A Curse So Dark and Lonely basically is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and if you know Brittany, she loves Beauty and the Beast. She loves fairy tale retellings, and she just finished Bookish and the Beast, and she loved that. So I was like, hey, Dark and Lonely follows our main character Harper, and she's like going around the streets, and then she sees this guy trying to attack this girl, and she defends the other girl and somehow is transported to this magical land, and crap happened. A Curse of Dark and Lonely is kind of what I wanted from A Court of Thorns and Roses. Less sexual and more character-driven, and actually a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm hoping Brittany takes my side here and actually really loves this book. I think it's kind of the one fantasy book that she'd be into. And if she liked A Court of Thorns and Roses, then she has to like this, right? Anyway, that's my recommendation.
So the reason that Julia says that I'm gonna like this book, or why she thinks I'm gonna like this book, is because it's contemporary primarily, which we all know I love, but it's also a touch of magic, which is gonna be easier for me to read than like a full-on like high fantasy book, which I enjoy. It's just like just a splash. See what I did there? A splash of magic, so that's why she thinks that I'm gonna like it, because I do enjoy magic and fantasy elements. It's just sometimes harder for me to read, so with it being like reading like a contemporary being, basically a contemporary, should help. Plus there's a female-female relationship, which I do admit I do need to read more of. I have read quite a few, but you can never have too many, so I'm very excited to start this book. So reading update for Summer of Salt. I am now on page 134 of this book, and I thought that I would just do a bit of a check-in before I continue reading. So honestly, I don't have that many. My dog just won't stop walking around and click-clacking her nails against the floor. So I don't really have any concrete thoughts on this book yet. I'm intrigued by it. So far, I don't mind the characters, but I don't feel overly attached to them either. And the relationship in this book has just kind of started, and I feel like this book is a little too short for what it is. I don't know. I find myself not really enjoying really small contemporaries like this a lot of the time because it just feels like everything happens really quickly, and that's kind of how I'm feeling with this book right now. It just kind of feels like they've just met. Let's see. Joey, why'd you do that? It just kind of feels like they've just met and now all of a sudden they're like really close. But like in reality, weeks have passed. But it was just kind of like a brief rundown of like the couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden like they're really close, and I don't know. I think Peyton had an issue with the relationship in this book and not feeling like overly attached to it. Like, it's cute. I just think it's moving a little bit too fast for me to like really see why they like each other. I don't know. I'm trying to like it. I really am. And it's not that I'm not actually liking the book. I think it's fun. I love the setting of this town by the sea. I think it's kind of charming, kind of cute, and I do like small town settings. For some reason, it's giving me like Gilmore Girls vibes, even though it's not similar to like Gilmore Girls at all. I think it's just like the small town aspect of it is what's reminding me of Gilmore Girls. And then there's the whole mystery, not the whole mystery, but like the whole plot line of this like famous bird. It's a 300-year-old bird, and it comes to this town every single summer, and it's somehow linked to the Fernways. I think that's the main character's last name, how you say it, to her family, and it's like her like great-great-great-grandmother or something in bird form. So like when she dies, she turned into this bird, and it's kind of like this like thing that goes on in their family. And so every summer all these people come to see this bird. I think the name is Annabella, that's what the bird's name is called. I'm intrigued to continue, but I'm not overly invested yet. I'm not even halfway through, but I'm hoping to finish this book today. Okay, so I'm now on page 192. I'm about to start part 3 of Summer of Salt. I've got that much more to go, and wow. So things are happening. Obviously, I'm not going to do spoilers. This is a spoiler-free vlog, but some things are definitely happening. I think I'm enjoying it a bit more than I was in my last update. I think I'm getting an appreciation for the story. I really like all of the witchy, magic-y things that are happening, but I think that's my favorite part of this book, that and like the small town island feel vibes that are going on. And I'm very curious to know how this is gonna end. Like, I have no idea what to expect from this last part. I have no idea if it's gonna be sad, if it's gonna be happy. I genuinely don't know what to expect. I also don't have any predictions or anything, but I'm enjoying it, so I'm excited to finish it. I'm on page 228. Shit's happening. Basically. Julia, when I told her that I was going to start this book, she said, "Do you need a trigger warning?" And I said no, because I'm not easily triggered by things, and I don't mind. But now I know what that trigger warning was. So there is mentions of sexual assault in this book. So if that's something that triggers you, maybe don't pick this one up, or just know to expect it around this point in the book. Whew. Things are getting crazy, and I'm a little invested now. So I'm gonna keep reading as come and update you guys, because this is crazy. This is not at all what I expected from this book, and I don't know if it's better this way. I don't know, but I'm gonna go back to reading now. I have finished Summer Assault by Katrina Leno. And overall, I think this book was okay. Like, it was enjoyable. I really liked the setting and the atmosphere of the story and like where it took place. I also really enjoyed the writing style of this book. There were some points where it was quite like poetic, which I really enjoyed. It kind of like reminds me of Tara Mafi's writing style in some senses, like just in some parts of how she decided to like format the like sentences that she had and stuff. I don't think that I'm that invested in the relationship in this book. The relationship definitely wasn't at the forefront of the story anyway. It wasn't the main focus. It wasn't the most important thing going on. It was just kind of there. So I don't really have many opinions on that front. I would have liked maybe a bit more from it. I liked all of the magic elements that were in there. I really liked all of like the little moments of Mary just like kind of floating around, and Georgina having to remind her like, hey, you probably shouldn't be floating when you're just like walking around town. I also liked how her mom made all of like the magic like potions and things like that. I thought that was just like a really fun touch to the story. And it did get quite emotional at the end there. When I was telling you guys about the trigger warning for sexual assault, that whole part was a little emotional. I found myself tearing up a little bit. It's just always such like a sad thing to read about. It's not talked about like in great detail or anything like that, but that is something, like I said, that it could potentially be triggering for you. Maybe skip this book or just go in preparing yourself to read about sexual assault. I'm not rating books, so I can't give you guys like a concrete like rating of what I think of this book, but overall I think it was like an average read. I think there is a possibility that I would reread it one day because it is kind of just like a fun quick read, but it's not like a favorite or anything. I can definitely see why Julia loves this book so much, because Julia loves the ocean and like swimming and beach towns and things like that. It's very much like her like aesthetic and her vibe, so I definitely see why she loves this book so much and loving all those elements of it. I feel like that's all I really have to say about this book. It was enjoyable. I would probably reread it one day, but it's not something that I think I would like crave to reread necessarily. It's just not like a favorite or anything, but I did enjoy my time reading it, especially when I sat down to read it today. I enjoyed it far more than when I was reading it yesterday. I am glad that I finally read this book because she's been begging me to read it for years, and I did really enjoy it. So I feel like this first book was a relative success. Okay, so I've started reading A Curse so Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I'm currently only on page 25, which is chapter 5 of the book. So I started this the other day. I haven't read much of it because I've been really busy doing YouTube-y things and writing, but I started this book and I'm actually pretty intrigued so far. Last time I tried to read this book, I think I only got one chapter in before I realized I wasn't in the mood and wanted to read something else. So I'm kind of like really intrigued by what's happening right now. I'm really interested by the characters and this whole curse that's happening. I'm already seeing a lot of similarities between Beauty and the Beast and this, because this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I can kind of already see why Julia would like this one more than ACOTAR, because she did say in her video when she was recommending me books, this is kind of what she wanted from ACOTAR and didn't get. And I can see that because ACOTAR was marketed as being a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's a very loose retelling, and so I can definitely see why she would like this one more if she went into ACOTAR expecting a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So I'm already seeing that and I'm very intrigued. I'm liking both of the perspectives we're getting. We get Ren and Harper, who are the main characters, and I'm just like really intrigued to continue. So I'm gonna try to read more of it today and hopefully get a good chunk of the way through, but we're gonna have to see because I do have a lot of writing and YouTube things to do today. But I'm hoping to get through some of this because I am enjoying it and I want to read it, and it is a large book, so I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but hopefully not that long. Okay, so I'm here for a reading update on A Curse so Dark and Lonely. I'm currently on page 124 of A Curse so Dark and Lonely, and I'm actually really enjoying it. Like, I'm having a really good time. It's putting me in such a Beauty and the Beast mood. Like, I really want to watch the movie now. But I'm really enjoying the characters, and I'm really intrigued by the curse that is going on and kind of how things are gonna go. And also, I love the trope where it's like two people don't necessarily like each other, or one person doesn't like the other, and one person says, "I'm not gonna fall in love with you." Like, it's in like A Walk to Remember, which is my favorite. And it just happened in this book, and I'm like, yes, I am here for this. I love when people are like, I'm not gonna fall in love with you, but like, you know that they are gonna fall in love. I am living for this, and so I'm really excited to continue. I really like the writing as well. Yeah, I'm just like fully invested in this. I'm gonna sit here for I don't even know how long and continue reading, but I have a hot chocolate. Let me grab it. I am such a nerd because it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so naturally I'm using a Beauty and the Beast mug. Very excited about this. And I also have a Beauty and the Beast ASMR room going on, and it's just so pretty. I don't have the sound on at the moment, but it just has music, and it's so pretty. I'm just having a grand old time right now, so I'm gonna keep reading. I'm on chapter 15. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. Okay, so I finished A Curse so Dark and Lonely yesterday, and I kind of wanted to compose my thoughts before updating you guys. I actually meant to update while I was finishing the book, and I wasn't expecting to finish it yesterday, so that's why I didn't end up updating, but I did. So I really loved this book. I really enjoyed the Beauty and the Beast retelling elements of it. I think that Bridget Kemmerer did such a good job retelling Beauty and the Beast into like this high fantasy setting. You can definitely like along the entire journey see exactly kind of what beats she's following of the original story, and I really enjoyed it. The end took a major twist that I wasn't necessarily really expecting, so I'm very intrigued to read the sequel to kind of see how it progresses and continues. I was actually texting Julia while I was reading to kind of give her my like reactions because I was just freaking out so much that I had to talk about it. But overall, like, I really enjoyed this book, so I'm really happy that I finally read this book after having it on my shelf for nearly 2 years. I'm really happy that I enjoyed it because high fantasies are really hard for me, and so I've been kind of like intimidated to pick this book up, but I am so happy that I read it. Julia was right. I absolutely adored it, so I'm really happy that I enjoyed this one. So now for my final thoughts. The whole point of this video is to find out which BookTube friend knows my reading taste the best. Does Peyton or Julia know it the best? And I've been struggling for the past little while of trying to figure out which of them actually won this challenge, won this video, because I honestly don't know. I'm gonna give you guys like an actual like winner and answer, but I'm not that like confident in it necessarily. So for Julia, I obviously read Summer Assault by Katrina Leno and A Curse of Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer. Like I just told you guys, I loved this book, and Summer Assault I enjoyed, but it wasn't like anything amazing and it's not like sticking in my head very much, but I did still enjoy it. And then for Peyton's books, I obviously read You Should See Me in a Crown and Tweet Cute, and I really loved Tweet Cute. I thought it was really adorable, and I do want to own a physical copy of it in the future. And then You Should See Me in a Crown, I did really enjoy it, but the more that I think about it, I think that I went into it with such high expectations because it was so hyped up on book Twitter and whatnot that there was no way that it was going to meet up to the expectations that I had set for it. So unfortunately, like, this one did fall a little flat to the expectations that I had, but it was still really good and I did enjoy it. I just think that I ruined it with my own expectations, so I am interested to reread this one day and to hopefully love it a bit more. So that's why I'm kind of struggling here right now. So I really enjoyed both of Peyton's books. I enjoyed Summer Assault but didn't love it, but I really loved A Curse of Dark and Lonely. So I feel like it kind of cancels each other out a little bit with me not liking this one very much. Like, I feel like I love this one enough for like both of the books. So that's why this one is kind of tough, because I feel like it's pretty even in terms of my enjoyment of the books as a whole. And then I was kind of thinking, well, I feel like Julia did try to go out of the box a little bit. She did take more of a chance with her recommendations, because I did ask them to recommend me books that they love, that they think that I will also really enjoy, and I feel like there were so many different ways that they could have gone with that and ran with it. But Julia did it with two genres that I don't typically read or that I find it very hard to get into, and she just kind of like took that chance. So with Summer Assault, it's more like a magical realism book, which I don't typically enjoy, but it does read like a contemporary, which is kind of, I think, where Julia was pulling this from. And then we have A Curse of Dark and Lonely, which obviously I own this book. Obviously I was interested in it and there was a chance that I was gonna like it, but then also it deals with Beauty and the Beast, which is my favorite Disney movie, favorite fairy tale, so it makes sense that I would be interested in this book. Like, I completely understand why she recommended it to me. I just feel like she took more of a chance with her recommendations because they are outside of my comfort zone a little bit and things that I don't often reach for. I feel like this has to go in her favor a little bit because I did end up enjoying both of them. Then with Peyton, she went more the safe route with picking two contemporary books because I love contemporary, it's my favorite genre, and so it kind of makes sense that these ones would have a higher likelihood of me enjoying them. But I don't want to hold that against Peyton because obviously I asked for books that they love that they think I would enjoy, so that to me naturally that means like contemporary books. So I feel like Peyton did play it safe, but I don't want to like hold that against her in any way when trying to decide the winner. So I'm looking at this as which books did I enjoy the most as a whole, and I think that as a whole Peyton won. I think Peyton won. And I've been literally thinking about this like all of last night, all of today, trying to figure out who won, and I think it's Peyton. And the reason why I think that is because I did enjoy both of her books thoroughly. I really enjoyed both of them. I do see myself rereading them in the future. But with Julia's, I don't necessarily see myself rereading Summer Assault. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I will. But I can definitely see myself rereading A Curse of Dark and Lonely and continuing on with the series. So this one was really hard. And I feel like if I had enjoyed Summer Assault just a little bit more, then Julia would have won, because I feel like out of this entire video, A Curse of Dark and Lonely is my favorite, but just going based off of which ones did I enjoy the most out of, quantity-wise, which ones did I enjoy the most, and I enjoyed both of Peyton's far more than I enjoyed, I guess, both of these, but I did really enjoy both of Peyton's books, and so I feel like it just makes sense that Peyton would win. And honestly, if I could, I would have just done a tie and say they both won, because I think that they both did a really good job with this, because I enjoyed everything I read. There was no book that I like flat out hated or wished that I hadn't read or anything like that. Like, I wasn't questioning why they recommended them to me. I think that they did a really good job with this, and so if I could, it would be a tie. So like, don't get mad at me, Julia and Peyton, it would be a tie. But I just feel like this video would be anticlimactic and a little pointless if I didn't actually pick out a winner. So I think my final decision is that Peyton knows my reading taste the best, and she is the winner of this video. That was a really hard decision to come to. That is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below if you guys enjoyed this video, if you want me to make more. I do have more BookTube friends, so I could kind of pit more people against each other if they are willing to do so, and I think that would be kind of fun. Maybe let me know if you do want me to do another part to this video, if you want me to do it where I take Peyton, who's the winner of this video, and pit her against somebody else, or if you want me to get completely, like, two completely new people to pit against each other. Let me know how you think that I should go about doing this. Subscribe if you've not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.